What's up, everybody, and welcome to Game On Improve Your Health podcast. These are your hosts.
Whoa, we're now hosts, no more co-hosts. Austin J, or hallucinodream if you know me from the gaming community, and my lovely wife and host, Christina. Wow. And today is a follow-up and question and answer to our last episode, which was our first of many Journey series, which goes over, those who are on the podcast, which is us, the host, our journey, how we got started, where we want to go, where we are going right now, what we're doing to maintain, and all of that jazz. Now, I want to go over this episode because not everybody that we get on the podcast is going to get on the podcast twice. So if I do a journey series with them and you guys send questions in, I will get the information from them myself and relay it if they don't show up for the second one. So I just want to throw that out there. That's probably what's going to happen.
I didn't know that was an option. I wouldn't have shown up.
Yeah, you don't have a choice because you're a host. Do you see how that works? You have made yourself a host now, so now you really don't have a choice.
True.
Anyways, so this is a follow-up question and answer, and we didn't get any questions, of course. I don't know, I said of course, but we didn't get any questions. So, but we didn't get any questions particularly to this episode.
Because we were so informative.
Yes, we laid down all of the information.
Yeah.
But we are going to go over a couple things that we may have wanted to. So what we went over was our journey, our maintenance, anything that we might have wanted to add that we didn't add because we go over and we analyze and we do our homework. Of course we do.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to the episode 20 times. So I just wanted to get that out there. And I also wanted to say I apologize for those looking on or watching on YouTube or Twitch that the lighting is incredibly strange. This room we are in a different area now on our mobile setup, right? We are actually in a different state. And there is an excessive amount of windows in this room, and unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. I just cannot hide from the windows.
It looks like we're just like...
It kind of looks like we're floating in here. So if you are listening on a podcast platform, by all means, go ahead and look at the video, and you'll understand what we're talking about. It kind of looks like we're in the clouds or something of the sort. It kind of looks like we have an actual green screen going on, but we don't. We're not that good. So we'll get into it.
This is not very good.
That's okay. And there we are. Now we have a background.
There we go.
This is a fake background. How do we do that? It was when you moved your arm. Okay, anyways. So we'll get into it. So last week, if you didn't listen to the episode, go ahead and listen to the episode. Also, if you are interested in being on part of a journey series, go over your journey, let us know. And we would love to have you on the podcast. We went over
as long as you're interesting.
As long as you're interesting.
Yeah. And
we have an extensive questionnaire. And the questions being, are you interesting? So if you can answer that, and we like it, you're in. So we went over, all of our journeys, where we started, what we are maintaining and stuff. Is there anything that you would like to add? Is there anything that you may have missed? So I was
going to ask you that first.
Health and wellness.
I went first last time, so you have to go first this time.
It's not how that works. I'm the main host. You're the secondary host.
I'm the host now. I've done the welcome speech 2 times now, and I crushed it.
So I went over a lot of fitness, but I'm not sure. So it's a journey series, is health and wellness. Did I go over nutrition? Because I said what I cut out first, but I didn't say how we transitioned into maintaining the nutrition. So I don't think you did. I do want to talk on that.
Yeah, I don't think that you told everybody that you used to eat McDonald's 3 times a day.
Yeah, so I do want to. Okay. Yeah, that happened. It wasn't just McDonald's. It was Burger King, McDonald's, Arby's.
Taco Bell, right?
No Taco Bell. I haven't eaten Taco Bell it's coming up on, how old am I?
30.
12 years. 13 years. So 13 years I haven't had Taco Bell. I got E. coli poisoning, if you guys wanted to know the story behind that. There was stuff coming out of...
both ends.
Both ends. Eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and the bottom area. Yeah, at the same time.
Sweet. That was disgusting.
So I got E. coli. I haven't eaten anything since.
Nothing. He's eaten nothing since.
No. But I did, and right before 2017. So 2016 was the last time I had fast food, right? Now, I'm not talking about Chick-fil-A, that's quick service. 2016, I was in 2015, and maybe 2014, and maybe 2013. But definitely 2016 and 15, for sure, I ate McDonald's, Arby's, Burger King, and sometimes Wendy's, literally every meal, because I just didn't know how to cook, and didn't really realize how bad it was for you. It just tasted good. It was very quick. It was very easy, right? That's what people turn to. And that's what I did. And it probably cost me quite a bit of money. I'd probably be a millionaire by now if I didn't do that.
Well, so it kind of brings me to like a thought that maybe you can touch on. Like, so you are somebody that is like naturally thin. Like, so you would think that by eating fast food, for every meal for almost 2 years, you would have put on quite a bit of weight. And so I think that a lot of people don't realize like that just because you're not gaining weight doesn't mean that it's not like incredibly detrimental to your health. So like you could have been like, I'm not gaining any weight, this is fine. I think that a lot of people don't even think about like it's not just the weight that's like alarming. It's all of
weight
the
is
other
only,
health benefits.
Weight is only a portion of it, and I have some videos on my YouTube that are going up about the blood panels that I do, extensive blood panels, and I'm starting to do that because weight isn't the sole indicator of what's going on, or it's not even an indicator really, a very good indicator on if you're eating poorly, because I didn't gain any weight, right? I kind of just stayed the same weight the whole time, but it was absolutely destroying my gut. It was destroying my gut microbiome. My hormones were definitely all out of whack. My cholesterol was certainly messed up. And it just does a whole saloon. It increases cortisol, increases inflammation by a lot. You'd be surprised what inflammation does to your body and your mind. It destroys your mind. And that probably contributes to why I was in a bad mood all the time, right? I didn't even know I was in a bad mood until I started my health and wellness journey, right? So, I dropped my ring. Just letting everybody know. If you can't see it, but I have my ring on now. But yeah, so we can get into that more in its own separate episode because there's a lot that goes into that. But yeah, if you are one of those people who, eats whatever you want and you don't gain weight, that's not the whole story. Okay, if you hear about some people, who have heart attacks early, right? Because the arteries are getting clogged from all the food that they eat, as well as other things. Could be other things. I'm not saying this is the sole reason. Okay, take what I say with a grain of salt. But there are stories of people having heart attacks early, or having early onset dementia, Alzheimer's, all this other stuff way too early, and a lot of it is from the stuff what they put in their body, right? And too much of it. And then again, your cortisol, you might not even know it, but your mood swings and all this other stuff is contributed. A lot of it can be helped with your nutrition. But I started in 2017, right? So I started, and I didn't really know how to cook anything, so I learned incredibly slow by doing what I did was chicken, and just made chicken because I saw my brother doing it, and he used to do chicken wraps, so I did some chicken wraps, right? And then that was a little too hard even at the time, so I just went to
just straight chicken.
I did. I asked some people at the gym, right? So asking for information is definitely helpful. I asked some people at the gym. I said, "What do you eat? What do you eat that is healthy for you and helps you, gain that muscle, not destroy your health at the same time, or your gut, or it's low in sugar and all that stuff." That's another thing. Sugar, try to avoid it, right? That's one thing I learned as well. But I was doing lunch meat because that was easier for me, and then I would do this. What's it called? It's kind of like chip steak, something, cheese steaks. I would eat that all the time. What I didn't know at the time is that lunch meat isn't the best for you. We'll go over that in a full-on nutrition. I'll make videos on that too. It is definitely healthier than some of the alternatives, but it's not the healthiest thing you could do. But I was eating that, and then I was eating bread. I tended to stay away from white bread, but because the high glycemic index, right, raises your glucose levels, and then you feel that crash. You don't want that. That's the 2 o'clock feeling you feel all the time when you have too much sugar or high. I just lost my train of thought.
High glucose.
High glucose index. High index. Glycemic index. Jeez Louise, what in the world? And anyways, the bread.
What time is it? 2:00?
It is. I think so. And the bread that I would eat with the steaks, the cheese steaks, right? Also slightly processed, so it's something I learned. But I started with that. So I started with that. That was healthier. It was way healthier than eating McDonald's. Okay, so even if you
just cut out one time, and we touched on this like on another episode, like don't just like most people aren't going to succeed if they just like cut everything out all at once.
Correct. Let's not get into full-fledged detail. If you want to hear that information, go back and listen to the nutrition. Okay, we have a nutrition and we have a follow-up. Excuse me, geez, 2:00. We have a nutrition and a follow-up to that. You can get all that information there. We're not going to go into the nitty-gritties here. And if you have any questions after listening to that, any further questions, let us know. In June, there's a 5th week. We'll answer all those questions. But I personally did a whole full-fledged cut all of them out. That was the only way I was going to be able to do it. And I know that everybody's individual, right? So you gotta. If you definitely know yourself. Go with that. If you have to start slow, start slow. So I did that for a while, and then that only had to last a year before I met my awesome host and lovely wife. And she taught me a little bit on how to cook. Now, I can cook stir fry, so I can do the chip steaks, right? I can cook stir fry,
He's
turkey burgers.
never made me chip steak.
Oh, I don't eat it because it's processed now, remember? And it's not even called chip steak. Somebody else called it that. Now it's stuck in my head. It's cheese steak. It's cheese steak for those who don't know. It's cheese steak, okay?
I think my family calls it chip steak because it's the actual super thin steak, but they buy it and it's just meat. You're talking about the packaged stuff.
The package, yeah, but it was meat. Yeah, it was only meat in there.
Yeah.
Anyways, and I would add cheese, and then I would put it on the bread, and I would eat it, and I'd be full, and I'd be like, oh. But because it's processed, I don't eat it. Also, we don't eat red meat very often, right? So that's why we don't do it.
True. Anyway.
So now I can make those, and then I can make turkey burgers, stir fry, and pancakes. That's about all I can make now.
And eggs.
I can do some pretty mean eggs.
He can do a scrambled egg. He can't fry it, but he can scramble
it. But so I started cooking healthier with her, right? And she was able to help me cook even healthier too. Now that's one advantage I had was that I found somebody I was able to cook with, right? Somebody who knew who could teach me, even though I have a learning problem, and even though she teaches me stuff, I can't cook myself. So I recommend for anybody listening, maybe try to find somebody to help you, even if it's a parent, right? Don't be embarrassed to ask for help. That's one thing.
That's how I learned.
There's a couple people that I've talked to in, I would say, the past, couple years who just don't want to move forward with something because they're embarrassed or to ask for help. Like, just ask for help. There's not a single person in the world who doesn't benefit from help. Like that's really how you move forward. So just ask for help. No one's going to look at you and be like, I can't believe you're asking me how to cook. That's stupid.
I mean, but like now, like you don't even have to ask anybody. All you have to do is ask Google.
Or you can ask Google, yeah. But if like you can ask Google, and Google will give you all the steps you need to. YouTube's an incredibly powerful tool, right? Or you can just ask somebody. Ask somebody at work.
I was just going to say, ask people at work. So many people give like recipes, like, hey, I want some recipe ideas. Like, do you have any?
I asked a question one time, completely unrelated to food. Well, sort of. Well, not cooked food, right? Not good food. And somebody was like, oh, yeah, you know what? I'm going to give you this recipe. I'm also going to give you some. It was lasagna. And the next day, they came with a big thing of lasagna. I was like, how am I going to eat all this? I ate it in like one sitting, but that's not the point. It was really good. And I never made it, if you're wondering. But it was a very nice gesture. So just ask for help, right? And then, so that's how I really got into it and with her. And now, I really need to start. That's the one thing that's hard for everybody, right? Is starting and continuing. So we started and we made that stuff. Now I can only make a couple different things, but I just need to, what I just need to do is put some time into it. It doesn't take that much time to do. I know that realistically, but in my mind, I don't do it because it's like, oh, this is going to take 4 days just to make one meal, which is not realistic, okay? So just put some time, put a couple minutes aside. Everybody has some time at night. Put some time at night, especially if you want to get into
storm at night. It's perfect time.
Do it. You don't even have to. You know what? I take that back. You don't even have to start there. Just every Sunday, just do one meal a week. Just, you know what? I'm gonna cook a meal this week. Let me go on. Christina uses Pinterest all the time. That's where she finds a bunch of good stuff. Everybody puts all this good, amazing, healthy food on Pinterest. Find one of those. They give you the ingredients and everything. Go get the ingredients, right? Find that on a Saturday. Everybody has their phone on them.
Yeah. And we used
Saturday,
to do
go.
a much better job of this. You know, like, obviously, we blame everything on this kid. She's just ruined our life. And
pre-child, yeah, we used to
we used to do a lot. We used to go to the gym every day. We used to meal prep. It was a whole thing. We had a whole other life before she came around.
No, she came and I was like, I expect her to make the food, but she's not, and I just don't understand why. I ask her why, and she can't answer because she doesn't speak English yet. So, but yeah, so that's some of the. Those are just. I mean, that's kind of how I got started with the nutrition. Now I need to advance a little more, right? So, I mean, I have this podcast. I'm telling you guys about this. I'm giving you guys hints. I'm giving you guys tips, hints. Yeah, give you guys tips and advice. And I am still working on it too. So everybody still has stuff they're working on, right? Yep. So there's no reason to be embarrassed. Just get it started, right? Yep. Get it started. Start slow. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask anybody, right? So that's my nutrition story, and I will keep you guys updated because all my what I learned, because I'm gonna be one of those Instagram people with food. Also, I want my daughter to cook.
I just was gonna say I'm gonna make him actually start cooking because he wants to put some recipes out there. So now he's gonna have to start cooking.
Yeah, we are gonna have a actually what's on for One Punch. Those of you who are listening now, you're the first to hear it. We will be having a cooking series on YouTube, which goes over healthy meals, and it'll give you the ingredient list and literally show you step by step on how to make it. So I'm probably not gonna be doing that, but I do have somebody who's going to, a very, very good cook. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's not my wife, by the way. It's somebody else, somebody better than her. No offense. Yeah, so let's hear about you. What about you?
What do I want to share that I didn't share?
Did you go over your nutrition? Your nutrition started probably a little earlier than mine.
Yeah.
What was your technique on what made you want to start learning how to cook? When did you do it? And how did you go about doing it? Did you get help?
Yeah, I mean, I really just learned because my mom always cooked growing up. So, I grew up in a house that she always made our food. I mean, and I think I touched on this maybe in the first episode, not that we didn't go out to eat or, order pizza on the occasional Friday night or Chinese food, but, most of the time she cooked. So, we always just grew up
not to cut you off, but my mom cooked all the time too. I feel like it's a little different between boys and girls too, though.
For sure.
In my mind, I was like, my mom's cooking all the time. I have zero need to do it.
Right.
And in your mind, it's probably like, my mom's cooking. This is for a reason, right? You're thinking logically. You're like,
well, I also
this is for a reason. Maybe I need to start doing that.
Yeah. Well, I also think that again, totally sexist, but I think that, especially when we grew up, our parents, it's like, oh well, she's a girl, she's gonna have to learn how to cook. That's literally the thought process, and it's obviously becoming less and less of that now. And again, not that my parents were doing it for to purposely be sexist, but they just
we're not
taught
saying
us,
this disclaimer. We're not saying any of this to make anybody mad.
Right,
to actually be. I mean, that really was how the thought process of a lot of people back many years ago.
And not that my brother doesn't. I mean, my brother actually is a cook, and he has worked in restaurants. But my
brother cooks all the time.
Right. Yeah. So, but I definitely think that it was more so I just always got involved in the kitchen when I was growing up. So, I just always kind of knew. And then when I moved out, I just really had no choice. So my mom gave me some recipes, and then I just figured it out. It took me a while to figure out how to cook chicken. It was either raw or overcooked.
I want to know. Hold on. How did you know? Did you know it was raw before you ate it or after? Tell everybody.
Yeah, before, when I would cut into it and it'd still be pink. So I could have either stopped cooking chicken or I found a new way. So the only way I could successfully cook it was either if I baked it. If I baked it. So I learned that I could not figure out how to pan sear chicken. It just was not going to happen for me. So I would bake it. So I called my mom and I asked how long I needed to bake a medium-sized chicken breast. And then I also learned that it was a lot easier if you just chop up the chicken and then you put it in the pan. So I started just dicing chicken. So all my meals were diced. Like, I never cooked chicken whole.
And now you know where the stir fry came from.
Yes. And that's why most meals became stir fry.
Yeah. Stir fry's great, by the way.
Luckily for me, he just mixes all of his food together. It doesn't matter what it is. So I stopped making like different dishes, like, or different portions of the meal. I just throw everything into one pot because that's how he's going to eat it anyway. So I started making easy one pot meals. But yeah, so I mean, just kind of out of necessity. I mean, I moved out by myself, so it was either I eat out every night or I learn how to cook. So
yeah, it's a little, yeah, again, everybody's different. So obviously there are definitely a lot of males that probably cook, right?
For sure.
And I just personally didn't want anything to do with the kitchen. And
well, and you had a different experience. You never really had to. Like, I mean, so
I also didn't have to. And then when I did have to,
his mommy kicked for him for his whole life.
Except she wasn't there the whole time. But I did. She's still alive, by the way. That sounded like, yeah, that could have possibly been taken a different way. She moved out, basically, right? I kicked her out. And she moved out. Okay, she moved on to bigger and greater things than me.
And then he called him and was like, "Mom, I haven't eaten since you left." And then she came back.
That's true. But no, so I didn't have the help the whole time, right? That's
when he went to fast food.
I took the easy route, right? Yeah. Because I was like, this is quick, this is easy. I was like, I have other things I want to do. I don't really want to cook. And I wasn't in the I need to be healthy mindset. I wasn't in the what is this doing to my body? I didn't care. I wanted to save as much time as possible. In hindsight, no, I wouldn't do that, but like I wouldn't do that now, but which is why I need to learn. But nutrition is an incredibly big part of your health and wellness journey too, right?
That's true.
It's literally 50%.
Yep.
That and the fitness. I mean, you
can't outrun your fork. My favorite phrase.
Yeah, unless your fork actually doesn't have legs, and then
True.
you're probably good.
True.
But yeah.
Unless somebody's like throwing it at you.
True. I don't really have anything else that I want to go over. We're not gonna drag this episode out. You have anything else?
No.
Since we didn't get any questions, we're gonna cut it there. You can listen to that nutrition episode for any more information on our nutrition background and some other info. If you have any questions, by all means, let us know. Like I said, in June. Well, hold on. Sorry about the camera. In June, yeah, right? June has 5 weeks. Correct. So in June, we'll have a 5th week. Every 5th week, like I said, we're going to go over any questions that we didn't make it into our question and answer and all this other stuff. So if you have any questions, let us know. If you want to be on a journey series, also let us know. You can go at any of our social media. If you're watching live here on the left, if you're listening on a podcast platform, it will be in the description. Next week, Wednesday, the 5th at 9 p.m. Eastern, because that is...
Cinco de Mayo.
Sorry, May 5th. We changed months now. May 5th, 9 p.m. Eastern, we are doing a live episode again on Twitch and YouTube. Lost my train of thought. Wow, it must be 2 o'clock. So you can watch us live there, and then it'll be on the podcast platform afterwards. If anybody needs help with their health and wellness journey, right? I am a certified personal trainer. I do have a 90-day at-home resistance band training. I know the gyms are opening up. I'm going to the gym again. So I also have a gym training program, 90-day. If you are listening to the podcast, I'm going to give you a code word, right? The code word is just going to be GREEN, GREEN. If you use the code word, message us on here, say I'm interested in training on any of the One Punch Social, not mine, One Punch Social or the website. Send me a message, say I'm interested in training, code word, heard it on the podcast, code word green, and I'll give you an even bigger discount than what is going on our sale.
Why does it have to be green?
That was the first word that came to my mind. I don't even know why. Maybe because these are green. You can't see, but down there is green. I chose green.
But our favorite color is purple.
Too many letters. Okay, I want it to be easy for people. Green. I could have chose red, which would have been
the easiest.
We're gonna do green. We're gonna do green because I already said it. And I'll give you a bigger discount than what it is with right now. Both the 90-day programs are $100. Right. Originally that would be $100 a month. Right now, They're $100, and I'm going to give you a bigger discount on that. I'm not going to tell you the discount. Just got to find out if you're interested. And if you have any questions on nutrition, by all means, ask us. We'll answer them to the best of our ability. So with all that,
since I'm now an official host instead of a co-host, if anybody can find my social media and you message me Red, I'll give you an even bigger discount. There you go. Challenge accepted.
Challenge unaccepted. Don't hunt down my wife. But the challenge is there. So if you message her Red, you still have to say
all the things he said before.
Yeah. You still have to say you're interested in the program. You heard the podcast and you're using the code RED, not green. Okay? If you mix it up, you don't get it.
True.
And we will see you guys next week. Again, that's Wednesday, May 5th, I almost said April, at 9 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and YouTube. Hopefully we'll see you guys then, and thanks for tuning in.
Oh, wrong hand. Bye.